reaches for me, reaches for my skin, and then he falters. Falters and stares, his hands stained black. Hello everyone, I'm Rainbow Rat, and welcome to Cover Me in Leaves. This already gave me kinda similar vibes to Winter with the settings in the corner and stuff, but I believe it's made by a different person. This is also supposed to be short, which is good because I'm really behind on my last few videos for Pride Month. But let's get into it. Heads up, the game has some strong sexual language that may not be suitable for streaming and also children. I don't know, I never used Twitch, don't know the rules. Content here that might be uncomfortable in general, like allusions to or discussion of self-harm, suicide, assault, homophobia, and transphobia, so please stay safe. Your girl, Elliot. Oh, click. Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. Coming leaves on bright minds at the end of all things. Credits and quit. Oh, this is so pretty. It's the end of summer, sunset air weighing down like a blanket. Your fingers trace the lines beneath my sleeve. You drove me home, and we sat there, parked across from my house, just waiting. Nervous chatter, stolen glances, giggling. And then we kissed. It's the end of summer, and we're alone on that street, hidden from prying eyes, gossipy gossamer lips. In a few weeks, you'll be gone for greater things, just another bright mind lost to the coasts. But as you held me, read to me, and did things to me behind that long-forgotten strip mall, I could simply let myself forget how soon this all must end. It was a small town even before I was born there. Those grumbling barflies, the uncles and the cousins with overflowing guts and a healthy fear of God, had all held down jobs at that lumber mill back when times were better. They filter from the pews, restless and stiff. There's a hopelessness here, one that soaks through to the bones. It's all rotting now, she says, that mill. But it was the kind of work that you could take pride in, chopping logs and packing trucks. They didn't need degrees to do that, did they? I nod and smile, and we pull away from the churchyard. 1,000 tiny crosses dig into the grass. 1,000 tiny graves. A voice for the voiceless. 3 weeks into fall, and I get my first tattoo. A leaf. Just a single leaf. Traced out on the soft side of my wrist. It's intricate and delicate, almost real enough to crunch. Small enough to hide, but enough to hide behind, you know? I'm sure you know. I start going for walks. Long walks amongst the pines. There's nothing but forests here. I can let myself feel lost. But when I think of you, think of anyone, think of what they might say, there's this scratching, screeching, peeling at my eardrums. It's Sunday, and I'm alone in the house. They only bother forcing me out for the weddings and the funerals. I turn on the radio and let someone else choose the music for once. The crickets hum and the sun shines, and I'm allowed to exist. 3 minutes past noon means 3 minutes late to work, and something splinters beneath the wheels of my car. A sickening sound that carves through to the bone. In my rearview mirror, on the road, is a deer. A rotten, splintered husk. I kneel down to make sure this wasn't my fault, but it's been here for days, so I get back into my car and I drive. Wouldn't have hurt, right? This is natural. This is natural. It's ashes and dust. Didn't I tell you? I've been working at that old place in town. I'm not much of a bartender, but it's not much of a bar either, and the tips are good. Plus, well, the tips are good. I bought myself a tarot deck the other week. I don't really think it works, but the rest of it is nice. It's calming, a little introspective. It helps. I sweep out the emptiness of my room, dressing it up in plants and flowers and rocks and a tiny little bird skull I find by the road. It's not quite home, but it's close. My mom comes home one night smelling faintly of wine. Did you hear about all this nonsense with the bathrooms? I bite my tongue. Remember Jimmy? That kid from school? Mrs. Turner said she came home to the sight of him tangled up in her finest Sunday wear a few years back, and she did the only thing that would be right for that poor boy. She had him exercise tomorrow. Yes, she had him exercised, and it fixed him, didn't it? Can't say it didn't fix him. There's a beat. I let it happen. Say, whatever happened to him? I'll give you 3 fucking guesses. It's been a month. Did you know you're supposed to tip your tattoo artists? I had no idea. I had to save up a little extra this time, just to make it right. They asked me if my little leaf had healed okay. Any itching? Any redness? Any weeping or bleeding? But if you say yes, they might stop you from getting more tattoos, see? This time, I go bigger. A whole branch, leaves and flowers all curled up together. I'll never be able to hide it now, but my forearm is covered and perfect and gentle. And then it's morning, and my sheets are covered too. I strip the sheets and build a pyre down by the old shed. It crackles and smokes and screams, blacks and greens and browns. No bandage for my arm, a clean bandage. No need to worry. It's healed. My phone died. I think it cut off when I was saying, like, switch to bandages, better bandages, heal better. If I move that out of the way. It's also darker in my room now because I had to change the lighting. It's quiet in the woods this time of day. Well, all times of day really, but when it's light enough to see, just before the sun hits the trees, there's this moment of quiet. I can't help but savor it. This is how it used to be. This is how it could have been. You ever think it might have been worth it? Trying to make a stand here? Show the young'uns that they aren't alone after all? Maybe. Maybe. It's a trek, but I make it to the old lumber mill before sundown. A factory carved out of the landscape. A landmark. Gangrene. Gangrenous. The metal is rusted, the concrete overgrown. They used to say that there weren't birds left to sing in the woods, but I hear them singing now. Nature's calling in her debts. This mill was a body in a box. These years, it's cremation. Ashes to ashes. Dust to dust. My ink never drips out here, but at night, I can feel it stirring. At night, it shivers and slithers and peels from my skin. It whispers to me words of anger and fury and comfort. And then it's the weekend, and I swing by Mike's. He's always got time these days. I get a sprig of holly on my ankle, and some flowers on my shoulder. We lock in another appointment, next Tuesday. I've got big plans for my collarbones. 5:10, and the working crowd filters in. The beer's cheap, but most come from the company. You mustn't have a problem if you never drink alone. It was a long shift, I remember that much. Most nights I'd just stand behind the bar, polishing glasses that were already clean. A rough, hackled man likes my ink, apparently. They never get handsy, but the devil finds work for idle minds. He tells me that, and they laugh. They all laugh. And all I can do is smile, so I smile, as politely as I can. He just can't help his gaze from wandering. In 5 years, this bar will be empty, its stone turned to dust. Not entropy, but nature. This town was built on borrowed time. It owes a debt, and when things return to the way they were, the way they should have stayed, time will bury this town, and I won't be dragged down with it. I make a promise to myself. I swear on whatever I have left, I'll be gone by Thanksgiving. These are the kind of thoughts that get me through to closing. But I'm still here. I still haven't left, haven't even made plans. Not real ones, and we're deep into October. So I sold my car. I've always loved that thing in a strange sort of way. It never got me to school. It got me out of this shitty house in the summer. It did get me to school. Got me out of this house in the shitty summer. It's never been a fashion statement. God, I loved it though. But if I could ever make it work here, then I'll never bring myself to leave. So I find a buyer, give her a good deal, say my goodbyes. I shrink my world. And then it's November. I peel the bandages from my back, from my ribs. It's not done yet, but it's close. Flowers, branches, trees. I'm covered in ink now. Covered in leaves. It's a canopy, a reminder, and a shell. Black and green and brown. I'm alive. I'm held. I'm safe. Night. Early morning, maybe. I close up the bar. The long walk home. I don't feel safe because I'm not. There aren't a lot of options, so I walk. Despite it all, it's a perfect night. Crickets call, and the moon is full. An owl hoots, the stars shimmer. There's a breeze, and for a single second I feel safe in this world. And then I hear him call. He's a gangling man with a stubbly chin, far too old for me, not that it could ever matter. His car is an awful half-truck with 2 doors too few, and he hangs out its window with a waggling tongue. Get in my way, sweetheart. I smile, as best as I can. I smile. Polite reply, just a few minutes from home, no need to worry. Oh, but he insists. There's a patch of damp on my collar, wet and dark, bleeding through to my shirt. I keep walking, right foot, left foot. You got someone to head home to? A boyfriend? A husband? I can hear my blood pumping, flooding through my veins. Keep moving, just keep moving. He's out of his truck now. But it's a small town. People talk. He knows me. Of course he knows me. Knows what they say about me. Knows I've never found myself a real man. You want someone to teach you then, sweetheart? Let me teach you a few things, show you how a girl's meant to behave. Wouldn't want them thinking you queer, would we? He reaches for me, reaches for my skin, and then he falters. Falters and stares, his hands stained black. It pours from me in waterfalls and streams. Every inch of me is bleeding, bleeding black and brown and green, a cascade of color, whispering and flowing and screaming and beautiful. All of my anger and fury and comfort, it covers me, it buries me. It's all that I am, a forest in flight. His eyes are wide, so are mine. I'm everything he expected deep down. I'm everything I was so scared to be. And now I reach for him. One by one I take his bones and lay them by the riverbed. When winter comes, the waters will rise, and I will never think of him again. Every inch of him was borrowed, every speck of dust, every brutal thought. One day my debt will be paid too. I will be gone, and I will be everything. But I will not waste my insignificance. Not like he did. I'm not going to die in this town. My bags are packed. They've been packed for weeks. The bus driver glances at me, the girl with the stained skin and matted hair, but he is not paid enough to ask questions. I find a seat at the back and collapse. I let myself breathe. I let myself exist. They stay with me. Every little leaf, every branch and seed and flower. Maybe someday I won't need them. Maybe someday I'll have grown and they'll have grown with me. But they're tied to me now. They cling to my skin. So I let myself be held. The bus pulls out, and just like that, I'm gone. A rumor, a memory, a topic for the holidays. That's all I can give them now. The last thing I'll let them take. That strange girl to run away. Just another bright mind lost to the coasts. Written and programmed by Elliot Herman. There we go. I hope you're okay, wherever you are. Okay, wait, let me... so you can see my face. There we go. That's a little better. That's a lot better. That was a nice little story, and growing up in a small town, it does feel very familiar. But this one has a happy ending, and eventually I will get out of my small town. And every one of you who has been through that will get your freedom someday too. But that is all the time that I have for you today, folks. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.